Yeah.
Just looking at the notes, second though.
What's one of the notes?
I don't know. Is that how poor Peru is
I don't know how to spell his name.
Doesn't matter, you know what it is.
Okay.
It's pronounced, it's French and shit, so I don't know how to
It doesn't matter, let's go.
Okay, hello! We are 801 show, the 801 show. Yeah, and we are back for episode 2.
Should we start each other? So.
Yeah, go on, I'll go first. I'm Tom.
I'm Stan.
And I'm James.
So last time we spoke about weird shit. We were new. We're still new. So be patient while we're still trying to figure this.
We've got a few points of feedback, and also we've just considered things ourselves. And I think Tom should be the one to introduce this because he asked his friend for some.
Oh yeah, we've asked for some feedback, and we received feedback saying that the first one was overwhelmingly male.
So I don't really know what we can do about that.
I don't know what to do about that other than say that I love women. Women can come onto the podcast at any time, talk about womenly things. I love all things.
If there's any women out there or anyone in any ethnic minorities, they are welcome to come on the show. We want this to be more diverse. So anyone who's interested, if you're a white male, though, you're not allowed on.
Yeah, no white males. We have
more. We have 3 of those. So anyone else, come along.
Also, we try to improve the quality a bit. I don't know if it's going to sound better, hopefully.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. So last time we recorded on this like one channel thing where it was like very direct, but now we've got this one that records in like a 360 degree.
So hopefully it records better and shit.
Although you still might hear us shuffling on the seats we're sitting on like last time.
That's my fault. I don't get comfy very easy.
Oh yeah, and last time as well, I was playing in my phone case and you could always hear like.
Well, don't do that.
And I'm also sitting rather precariously, so
Well, get comfy, boys, because we're in for a ride.
Alright.
This is going to be the most exciting episode of 3 people talking you've ever listened to.
Amen. So, do you want to continue with what we did last time with the movies? Well, yeah, we'll start with that. So basically, for those who don't know or didn't watch the first one or just want a little bit of a reminder, we're going through and watching the highest or most popular film from every year from the dawn of cinema to where we are now. And we did 1885 to 1890.
No. 1881 to 1890.
We did 10.
Yeah,
we did 9.
Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, apparently we did 9 films last week, but we've shortened it to 5 this week.
Yeah, obviously those last 10 didn't make much of an impression if we forgot how many we did.
They were very short, and these ones are still short, but they're a little longer, which is why we narrowed it down to 5. I think the next 5 we should do another 5 and then start.
I think 5 is better because I remember these ones a bit better.
But but when we get to like 1900, it gets longer, so maybe just start.
Oh yeah, we'll start doing like 1s or 2s then I think.
Yeah, and just once it gets to like a certain amount.
That makes sense. So do you want to start with the first one?
So the first one was Newark Athlete, and we watched it through YouTube. I think it was the Library of Congress YouTube channel.
Yeah, shout out Library of Congress.
Shout out to Congress.
The Library of Congress introduction and an outro was probably the most interesting part about the video.
Yeah.
And that's really a testament to how naff Newark Athlete was.
Yeah, it's just a bit shit it was basically. We were looking at the list of the films we had prepared for this recording, and we all forgot what this one was because it was just so fucking dull. But
there's nothing in it.
Yeah, Library of Congress, big up. I like the connotation for that. That's about it. That's all I have for that one.
Yeah,
really shit.
I'm just trying to find. I'm just going back so I can see my ratings.
Waved about some.
Oh, you probably should explain what the actual film was.
Yeah, should we just for reference? Should we always say year, name, and then plot overline?
All right, that makes it a bit more coherent.
Yeah, so we'll start next one. We'll do that.
We're learning on the job. You're seeing it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Progress.
Probably mostly gentlemen.
So this is your one. So do you want to do a quick plot outline?
Oh, okay. So what happened was this young'un, he waved about some, what are they, bowling pins? I don't know.
I think so.
Or like juggling pins, and he just waved them about all fancy like, and that was all that happened really. And you know, and it was from 1891, so you can't expect much, but the years preceding...
I think it was like a kaleidoscope film as well.
It was made by Thomas Edison, I think, also.
Well,
So
you know, he needs to step it up a bit, because the years preceding were a bit more interesting than that.
And also, like, you know, we had films like this in 1883, and it was... It sounds like I'm talking about it like a few years ago, but yeah, 1883, like, you know, it had films better than that, so I don't think it's even worth noting that it's a product of its time or anything. It's just like shit.
Yeah, it's just a bit shit and boring.
Well, in comparison to everything else from it, it's probably alright, but yeah. So, yeah, that's that.
And to conclude each one, we should also give our final rating.
Oh, of course, yes.
Oh yeah, I remember mine.
We are so
I got my phone up now.
I gave it a 4-star, I think, which is just below average, because that is what it was, baby.
Wait, 4-star, 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying 4 out of 10. Just
4 out of 10.
not completely terrible, but
But
just
you have
below
to
average.
contextually.
Yeah, it's horrible. Wait, it sucks on me now, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
So now we're on to Poor Perriot, I think, from 1892. And the plot of this one is some weird ghostly kind of guy. It's an animation. Some weird guy is trying to get some pussy at this like French castle.
True.
And then I think he does, like I can't remember, but it's just a charming little animation. And it's fun, I think.
I thought it was epic.
Yeah, it was nice.
It is animated and it was cool, and especially because we just watched a really shit one, but like the year before it, this is like a massive like step up. It has like a whole narrative going. The animation's
and I
cool.
also believe that this was actually in colour.
Yeah, it was.
I think it's the first colour one we've seen.
Yeah, I think it was.
But yeah, and it had a story, so it's pretty.
Basically, the story was like a simp wanted a girl, and then another guy came in, stole her from him, and then he went and cried. From what I remember.
Yeah, and it was.
Seems to be a theme of our old films. That's the plot.
Yeah, it's also Sims today. Yeah, what did you think, James?
Thoughts, James?
Good.
Good thought. Good thought.
I'm the same. 7 out of 10 from me.
Still don't know how to pronounce it properly though.
What do I? Poor Peru? I don't know.
Paul Perry.
Gave it a 6.
What did I give it? I'm going to rate it now. I'm going to give it a 7. Don't know if I rate it now, but that's what I'm rating it.
So 7 from me, 7 from Tom, and a 6 from James.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you used to always rate things higher in the last episode.
Yeah, we're just cooler than you.
I've just become wizened and cynical.
Now it's my turn, everyone. I got 1893, and I'm introducing the blacksmith scene. Oh, yeah, I know. So basically, in the blacksmith scene, what's going on? Single frame, basically, all shot in sim location. Nice single setting frame, and it's just some boys going hammer on anvil, basically.
And they have their drinks. They split their drinks.
Oh yeah, they have some grog of them as well. They're grogging out, just having a drink of the boys, making weapons and shit.
Okay.
That is the film.
What stands out to me about this one though is that it's considered the first film with a narrative. However, what was Paul Peru? And I'd also argue that Paul Peru had more of a narrative than that one. So
Yeah,
I
that
could
is
bullshit
true.
on that, but you know, it was good.
Yeah,
So.
history scholars, get your shit together. You're wrong.
I also don't really know why I always used to hear that the train thing, the arrival of the train was always the first film, but it really wasn't.
It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah, why did I always hear that? I have no idea.
It's just a lie. But yeah, blacksmith scene. It's like basically what New York Athlete is, but a bit more going on.
Yeah.
It's a bit more identity to it, a bit more like in focus and shit. You can see it. You can see what's happening. It's not broken.
It's a very stable little short.
It's cute seeing the boys grogging in 1893, having a fun time. Yeah, that's about it really.
Working the steel.
Just whacking out hammers.
Should we get some ratings?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna give it either a 5 or a 6 because it's bang average, does what it needs to do. And I give it a 6 because the boys were drinking beer and it was just a bit nice to see.
Yeah, I give it a 6 too. You know, it's pretty average, but it has a bit of story. And it has some booze. So what can you go wrong with that? Muscles and booze.
Making it 6 all round, really. I
Oh, what a boy! 6 all around for blacksmith
Scene.
James gets the coolest one. That's shit.
The coolest one for the coolest guy. Yes, the execution of...
No. You get the coolest one.
Oh, I can't even... No, that's not the coolest one. But
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it is quite cool. Yeah, okay.
That's
that's
good.
Falling cat. So, basically, it's a cat on their foot.
Yeah.
1894.
Good boy.
Yeah, amen.
I'm not a boy, bitch. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not a man, I'm a guy.
I'm a man. Many women have called me man.
I've been called a man once. I remember when I was working at an airport, some lady went to her daughter like, oh, let the man pass, and I was like, oh, that's probably the first time
they
I've
call
called
me
a man.
sir.
Bro, you worked at an airport?
Yeah, a cafe in an airport.
Oh wow.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
It's not.
Airports and shit.
Yeah, people in cafes tend to call you the man, like, oh, give the man your cup, you know, like, I'm not a man, miss, sorry, but I'm really
You know what else isn't a man? A cat.
Yeah.
Speaking
Falling
of,
cat.
falling cat fell.
That's it. It's a falling cat, and it's very cute. So.
No, there's more to it. I have a really deep feelings about this film.
All right.
So it's shot in like frame by frame of a cat getting thrown, presumably dropped onto a cushion, and like you get to see the cat landing on his feet, and it's really epic.
Well, cats do land on their feet.
It's just so cool.
The question is, would this be allowed now? You know.
Yeah, he landed safely on a cushion.
I don't know. I don't think dropping cats is really
Yeah,
allowed
fun.
these
Cats
days.
land on their feet, they drop from greater
Yeah,
distances.
it was fun.
It was great.
What
It was
do you
great.
think
It was a
of-
cute cat.
I got a question for you. What do you think the point of this film actually was?
To show that cats could land on it. I don't know.
I think,
testing it.
but the reason they shot it frame by frame or in slow motion was to show how, like, because usually
Yeah.
it happens so quickly in real life you can't comprehend like how a cat does it. But when it's slowed down, you're like, oh, they're kind of cool.
There's so much shit that they would have never even heard. Like, I always think, right, isn't it crazy, like, you know, they would have never even been able to understand what it would be like to hiss a voice backwards until that kind of was invented. They wouldn't have even been able to fathom, but it would be like, it's weird. But yeah, Falling Cat, I'm going for 6.
I'm going to go for 6 as well. As much as I liked it, I think it's probably just a 6.
It
Good cat.
Can't do be falling though.
It was a 6 as well, 6 almost.
Wow, we're just such agreeable people.
Yeah, this isn't a very interesting podcast. I was like, yeah, it was good.
Next.
Oh, sorry, Tom, you only get to rate 1. I get to rate 2, and so does James.
What the fuck? Okay.
Not rate.
I'll
introduce the feature.
Yeah, okay. So we got 1895's classic, The Execution of Mary Queen of Scots. And this is about... He spelled Scots wrong.
Also, Queen Mary of Scots. Sorry, we're just reflecting on Tom's noting skills.
Yeah, why are we fucking having a go at me? I'm really cool typing.
Well, anyway, this is about... It's how it sounds. It's The Execution of Mary Queen of Scots. Everyone knows that Mary Queen of Scots was assassinated by Queen Elizabeth, I think.
Yeah,
And
she
that
just
happened.
fucking lopped her head off.
Yeah, weren't they like
No.
friends and shit? And then
Well,
she
they
just backstabbed
backstabbed
her.
I think they were kind of related. I'm
Oh, yeah.
remembering my history too well.
I did do this in history. I can't
But
remember.
basically, the gist was the Catholics at the time were all like, we want a Catholic monarch. This monarch,
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
this middle way that of Catholics and Protestants that Elizabeth is bringing in is just not doing it for us.
Pretty
so
sure someone's house got burnt down too.
yeah,
I remember.
let's do a plot and let's get bloody Mary in power because she's a Catholic. Mary up in Scotland, and and she was caught out for
Oh yeah, then
involvement.
Elizabeth was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
And Elizabeth
Chop.
kind of didn't want to kill her, but you know, I think she was sort of tricked into signing it. But I don't know, maybe she did want her dead. You know, I don't think they even met really.
So yeah, that's the film really. It's her getting her head chopped off. But what's so great about this one is that it's like got a jump cut.
It's the
which-
first edit
yeah.
cut, I think.
Yeah, it's got like a
Well,
jump cut which
remember.
allows it to look like her head.
It's also
being
classified
cut
as
off.
the first ever horror film. Do you know that?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Because at the time, obviously, it's quite fucking scary. You see
Holy
someone's head
shit!
getting chopped
yeah,
off.
fuck, got killed.
Yeah,
What?
it's quite scary.
I would also argue Monkey Sham was pretty terrifying though.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think this isn't on this one. That was last week. That was the highlight last week.
That was
But
great.
yeah, I really like this one. Mainly for the edit and like the more
It's pretty
like
fucking cool.
little stuff you learn about it. But like it was a completely different person. It was a man playing
Oh yeah.
Mary. It's just funny the more you learn about it, and it's a good use of the first cut. Like
Yeah,
to be fair,
it's pretty
it's actually
seamless.
done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from when I first watched it, when I wasn't really expecting it, I didn't even notice really until like I watched it again, knowing there was a cut. Then I obviously saw
Also,
it.
really weird, but I really like the whole framing of the shot, where it's just like I can like perfectly reimagine it in my head.
It is. It's pretty iconic. Yeah.
It kind of gave me history textbook vibes in like it looked like an illustration or a thing you'd seen in a history textbook.
So that's
nice.
Oh, should you go ratings on that one?
Yeah, 7 for me.
7 as well.
7.
Why are we so agreeable? This is so shit. Okay, moving on.
Well, I think we have some differences later on. So
we do.
Wait, I think last week we we said we did like a recommendation of the 1890 to 95.
Our favourite one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, well, it's your favourite one.
I'm going to go with Poor Perry, whatever.
I'll go with The Execution of Queen Mary of Scots.
That's probably my second.
Queen's Autumn. That one, the Execution one, guys. Yeah, that one. It's about the 30 seconds long watch. It's cool.
Tom, have you been drinking tonight?
No, I'm just tired.
You remember, kids, go to bed. But not yet. Listen to the rest of this. I gave Mary Queen of Scots. Yeah, that same.
I'm the outcast. This one. I just
that animation one.
I thought it was just pretty crazy because I think apart from that, obviously stop motion we watched last week. That was probably it's the first animation that kind of actually felt like an animation from modern day. Out of the ever.
Cool.
Yeah. So have to give it to that one.
Okay, so that wraps up the yearly films for this week. We'll move on to the feature length. And the reason we watched this is because, as people probably know, we're all film students, and we got given a lesson on art cinema. And our topic,
some of the best stuff ever,
yeah,
in my opinion.
And we had to watch the movie by Ingmar Bergman.
Ingmar Bergman, yeah.
My pronunciation's on point today. Also known as Burger Man, as I call them. We had to watch his film, The Seventh Seal. So we all watched that. What did everyone think of The Seventh Seal?
Pretty damn good. Though I don't think I liked it quite as much as you guys, but get into that.
Pretty freaking great.
Yeah, I think we all have different opinions about this.
I think we all liked it.
We all liked it, but we all didn't. We liked it to different degrees.
Yeah. So.
I'm middle of the range, so I'll go first.
Yeah. Kick off.
I mean, I'm not even gonna. So basically, it's an art film, so I'm not even gonna pretend to explain the plot because I can't. I feel, if any of you want,
there's definitely
give it a crack.
If you were to put it simply, you could say it's a man, facing death, and then there's a couple, and they just kind of go on this road trip, and there's adventures along the way, sort of thing.
The guy has game of chess with death, and death is like prevalent in the movie, and it's about death and shit. Okay.
Yeah, obviously it's an art film, so you can't really give like an actual linear plot.
In case you haven't noticed, spoilers.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Spoilers for The Seventh Seal.
We just make the whole show spoilers because.
Yeah. You say road trip, but it was very much.
Well, yeah. Okay. I suppose at the end it was, but then.
Yeah, but as in, road trip without context sounds like it's modern day, which it's not. It's
no. They're trying to get away from the plague, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So it was set in sort of, I guess, the period in which the Crusades were occurring. Because it was quite heavily implied that our main character, Antonius Block, I believe, had come back from the Crusades based on his costuming, of course, and
Yeah, well, I think this was very influential. I think it shaped the way for lots of, there's so many art films I've seen that have kind of used this idea of like having characters symbolise different things and move along with plots and things, which and I haven't seen anything like that prior to this one, in terms of like chronologically. So I think it's pretty great in that sense.
I watched like a lot of interviews of Burger Man.
He's quirky.
Of Burger Man before, and he was like saying, so like the opening scene basically, it isn't even a spoiler, it's on the poster and not on like the thumbnails and shit, it's like the most popular, been parodied loads, but basically like the opening scene, he has a game of chess with Death on the beach, and then Death is represented as like a man with like really odd like black hood, weird looking bald head man, right?
I didn't see his hair. He could have hair.
No, he's bald.
He didn't have hair. No way he had hair.
His hood goes like there and you can see the front of his head.
He didn't have hair.
He's bald.
He's got a really, really, really bad
hairline has gone literally so far back. You can see like the top of his
head. It's got like a really long ponytail.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's bald.
I'm pretty sure he's bald as well. But anyway, Burgerman said that like it's interesting why he chose to represent death as a man, because like in the film he says, "Oh, this is death. You're having a game of chess with death," but without him saying, "Oh, you're death," you wouldn't know who this guy is, who just appears on the page and goes, "Let's have a game of chess, boy."
Yeah, I
Do you
like.
follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
That's
like
what I
this technique of kind of having characters be abstractions to kind of move along. Like, you know, there's the linear narrative in the film, and then there's also the narrative of like what he meant by it, about his kind of like faith in things, which I really like. You know, I like how he uses another story to tell like a more personal one. I think it's really cool.
I think the longer you sit on the film and think about it, the more you like it. That's what it was for me anyway.
It sticks with you, for
I
sure.
feel like if you also were raised going to church, I didn't go to church that much, but I definitely at one point in my life went to church, you know, most Sundays, and
Dirty
like,
Catholic.
and just if you look on that back on that time, you know, now as an atheist, not so much with resentment, but just sort of like, oh yeah, it's all bullshit, you know. This film, you know, will kind of appeal to you, I think, because, you know, there is doubt, you know, like Antonius, well, he kind of wants to believe, but, you know, there just doesn't seem to be sufficient evidence, and I think it also shows the just how arrogant perhaps religion can be, especially in the scene in the town, just as the acting troupe finished their performance. A bunch of flagellants came in, and a man sort of said this speech about, you know, how God is punishing them, and they just straight up believed it, and this man was saying, you know, it was just really sort of taking advantage of, you know, the Black Death and just pushing this agenda really, and
yeah, I definitely think it has a strong voice. Like, this is definitely, those opinions are definitely something that's personal to the director, which is, I like that it's kind of got like a passion to it. It's not just kind of like some, I'd say compared to a lot of the films that other films we're going to talk about later, it's quite personal.
The Christian doing the speaking, there was definitely a sense of, you know, superiority to the fact that, oh, he's not going to suffer because, you know, he's doing as God says, and he's preaching, and these lowly people are just standing around, you know, and going about their general lives. But no, you have to commit your life to God. And then, you know, as people, you know, as an observer who kind of doesn't really believe in God, it's just sort of like, you know, how can you just convince people to, you know, give their lives to something which is just kind of a lie, really. So
yeah, it reminds me of that quote I saw from from someone about this movie, and it was like, I'm not trying not to butcher it now, but it's like, in a life where you search for God and the only certainty is death. And like that basically summarizes this movie, about this guy looking for God, but all he can be sure of is that this ever-looming death, even personifies a man, is just following him the whole time. They're just waiting for that game of chess to end.
yeah, and then, you know, the film just talking about death as well was quite interesting. In our university, on our we discussed the films after we watched them on a call with our film history lecturer, and I kind of really got into
Yeah, he went on a proper like what does death mean?
Yeah, like a tangent, sort of like, because there was this one scene where Block was with the family and they were drinking milk and eating wild strawberries, and he was just sort of reflecting on how nice the moment was, and how he almost just forgot about the fact that death was, you know, incoming. And it just sort of got me thinking, you know, I think when we all sit together and have a nice time with our friends, and, you know, you just sort of forget that
honestly,
the inevitable will come.
I've been talking for the past half an hour and I haven't at all thought once, like, oh, I'm going to die in some point.
Yeah, and I don't know, I've always had a weird sort of thing where I think about that, which I wish I didn't, but, you know, it's a weird fascination. But yeah, so that film really spoke to that part of me as well, so it was quite comforting in a way.
What do we all think about the idea that the couple with the caravan are like Mary and Joseph?
Yeah.
Baby Jesus.
I didn't really think of it like that, to be honest.
I didn't initially, but I see the point.
Also, I saw
sense
this thing, I read this thing that like Burgerman but the final scene was completely improv. Like he didn't plan that at all for those two.
What when they saw?
Yeah, but the
death?
two of them to be left out the walking up the hill thing, that was improv. Like that wasn't a decision.
Wow, that's a great thing to improv.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like wow.
So like maybe it is like at the moment he was like, oh yeah, I could do that. But also like this film is so interpretive. I feel like having being told a meaning and being told, oh this is the right meaning, it means Mary and Joseph. I don't really like that.
If you're a Christian, I think that's a perfect good interpretation. But I think you can also just interpret it from a non-religious point of view.
Yeah.
Just like that what's being retained is a sense of purity and a sense of family and
life and
a life, a child is being preserved. There's a hope for the future.
I can get behind that idea, but I'm not completely sold. But for me, anyway, I don't really like knowing the idea. I don't really like knowing the answers. I kind of just like to watch it and like experience the scenes and then.
Well, I certainly think
it's
up to interpretation, whatever one you want, really.
I feel like the film's iconography as well is really strong. Like there's two scenes that have like become like landmarks in like culture. So like the final scene, spoiler, where like they're all holding hands walking up the hill, it's like massive. Obviously, the chess scene in the beginning is like huge in pop culture. Just strange how big the film is, and we never would have picked up on if it was this film.
Yeah, I've always seen that picture of that deaf character, but I never actually knew what it was from.
Yeah, I didn't know it was deaf, to be honest. Like I've seen this film like advertised everywhere.
Yeah,
on, like,
I didn't really know it properly. I did also think it was like, for considering it's a 50s film, it felt very modern for what it was. Like it, it was very like. Speedily edited and paced and
camera movements were great as well.
It didn't feel old, like dated at all. It felt like just like the lighthouse is just literally black and white.
Yeah, it felt very oddly. I couldn't place what year it was made if I had to.
If I didn't know, if I was apart from the sound quality, but
that's like the only thing I let it down. But I couldn't place when this was made.
Yeah, it literally looks like the lighthouse or something was made like last year. So it it could also be stylistically old. Kind of just I wouldn't even know. Well, I would, but. And, you know what I mean? Like, almost wouldn't know.
I think maybe the actor Max von Sydow, he died recently at like age 90, so that also makes it seem like wow, that must have been quite a long time ago. Really,
big rip.
I don't think Ed Berman died in like 2001 or something, didn't he? 2002.
Yeah.
Died quite fairly recently all things considered.
So do you want to give our ratings on the art film?
Yeah.
The Seventh Seal?
Sure. I think this is where we all differ, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think I gave it about an 8. 9 even?
I think you gave it a 9 because I remember I
gave it a 9.
I gave it an 8. I just didn't think, as much as I really liked it, and as I've said, like, I just think there's other films that have done the same sort of thing, but I think they've been better and just generally, I still really liked it, but I think I've seen better instances of the same kind of thing.
Yeah, for me there was just some scenes where I was like zoning out of it, where like it just went on a bit too long.
There was what didn't grab me quite as much as other things did, or provoke me as much as other things did. But I still thought it was really great. So yeah.
I gave it full 10. I really liked it.
Damn.
As you guys know, that's quite rare for me. I don't really give out 10s.
Yeah, he's given out like 7 10s.
Not 7. I'd say about like.
The Seventh Seal.
Good one. I think it's like in the 10, like over 10 or so. But yeah, I really liked it. It was really good, and as you could probably tell in what I was talking about, it was I don't know. I guess a little bit personal. It appealed to me personally. But I just like to preface that if you are Christian,
fuck you.
No. Good for you. That's wonderful. I'm sorry if anything I've said in
unsubscribe.
I'm not sorry. Fuck you.
And this whole I kind of speak of it pessimistically and of it being a lie. But if you believe, fantastic, good for you. But
I definitely see why you like it more, just because you've had that kind of arc in your life when you've gone between faith and things.
I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't. I've always been atheist.
I wasn't proper faithful, but I've been Christian and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So it probably hit you more, but for us too.
And also, I've always questioned what lies beyond death. And it's just.
I reckon you die. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And
black.
And that is a horrible truth to learn after you've been told about God. So The Seventh Seal, fantastic film. Really liked it. Yeah, I kind of want to watch more Bergman.
I added some stuff from him to my watch list.
Need to get a collection. Need to get a box set or something. Of course, these things are expensive, but
Pirate Bay.
No, support your local film industry. Right. I think that concludes everything for Seventh Seal.
Who's introducing next?
That was you. It's you next.
It's me. So now we are upcoming. So that was
feminism time.
Women.
Yes, our art film was last week. Our
Love women.
lecture this week.
Tomorrow.
Well, yes, yeah, we've got the lecture slides. We're going to watch them eventually. But the theme of this week is feminism in classic Hollywood.
Boo! Scared.
No.
Remember we said at the beginning being overly male?
Yeah.
Women in Hollywood, boo!
Yeah.
Get off the screen!
Like they could just answer you, like they could just heed their instruction. Yes, I'll just get off the screen. No. Right, yeah, so we got given two films to watch. The first one we're going to talk about is
1944.
Is it 1944?
I think so, or 45.
Directed by Casablanca's Michael Curtiz, and it is Mildred Pierce.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
I actually got some notes for this one.
Oh wow!
I just watched it, so my notes in my head.
Yeah, I did that. I've done it for all the other ones, but I thought I don't know why. I just kind of.
I don't need notes.
Yeah, I put notes to this one. So.
Any thoughts? General thoughts?
Well, one of my notes is that general thoughts. Not good. Good, but not amazing.
Yeah,
I think you just hate women, Stan.
That's definitely an extent of it.
it was
Just joking.
it was pretty good. I mean, you know,
I didn't think it was good, but I didn't think it was bad.
it's your sort of bog standard Hollywood.
Yeah, it's just so Hollywood.
Classical Hollywood fare.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, come on.
And that's not a bad thing, you know.
I think it is. I just get so tired of that
I
formula.
quite liked it. I thought it was quite good.
It's only the formula that pissed me off. Everything else I thought was really great. Like, you know, there's some great scenes and stuff, and writing, and you know, everything to like. Except it's just this very film structure.
Yeah, but as far
It's
as Hollywood
boring.
films go, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
It knows what it is, and it has all the cliches of noir. And
Perhaps it was human error that sort of impacted my viewing of it. I just found myself hard to be engaged by it, and
Yeah, I just felt
reaching
like
for my phone, which is a bad thing. But you know.
It's just the twists and turns were just like very filmy.
I don't really have any major problems with it. It just didn't grab me.
Yeah, same. Basically the same. The best thing about it for me, I think, was like the feminist side of it, like all that kind of thing. But apart from that, it's just another film. Yeah, it's just another film. Apart from that, really. But one of my notes here is that the opening credits were fucking awesome. Like the waves thing, right down the text. I don't know how they did that because.
No, I was trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah, I think it was green screened, but like, how did you green screen the waves? I don't know. It kind of looked like there was like chroma key kind of edges there. So I don't really know, but that was pretty fun.
how is that your favourite thing about the movie?
It was my favourite thing. It was one of the notes.
I thought you meant opening scene, and I was like, oh, was it that good? I didn't think it was that. Like, maybe it was quite cool.
Just one of the notes I had of many.
The opening scene was just one of the last scenes. Isn't that good?
I just said that because it was the first. It was the first thing that came to my mind when I was watching it. Any other thoughts before I go into?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really good. Good Hollywood film. Women were represented pretty intelligent until the end, but even at the end, they're still pretty clever, and they basically they get what.
That's the only thing I liked about it was the woman characters were like a lot better than a lot of other things, but from that time.
Also, the fucking acting's pretty fucking sick as well. The main actress, she's pretty fucking cool. I was with her. I believe she was a girl boss. She was winning the world.
Didn't like Wally. Who got on my nerves.
You didn't like Wally?
He had the
he was
over the top
Bro,
film accent, you know.
He just wanted some cooch.
My problem wasn't that, but like my problem certainly was he was definitely not taking the hint.
He was rapey.
He was, and you know.
Yeah, but he bought her a restaurant. Actually, he helped her buy a
Are you
restaurant.
trying to justify him?
That's not how he.
Tom.
Wait, what the fuck are you on about? He didn't buy a restaurant, did he?
No, he helped her buy it.
He did help her out.
Oh yeah, he was.
I feel like it was.
That was his job. He was like a
No,
landlord guy.
he did say he never had the intention into anything. He was just sort of, and even at the end, he's like, "Oh no, I'm just running the business." Like I think he was always like tongue in cheek, like, "Oh, we're friends. You're single." Because at the time, that's what every fucking Hollywood.
But right after she broke up with her husband, like
obviously the timely movies, and obviously it's going to be.
Yeah, I do understand that there's got to be a historical context to it too, but
yeah, and that's sort
generally
of what
speaking,
men did back then. They're like, "Hey, down, you single?"
Yeah. I guess from a modern day perspective, that was just a bit.
It didn't outrage me. Like I wasn't like
Yeah.
offended or anything, because I knew that it's different
But,
at that time.
You know, he was like,
It's mainly his acting that got my nerves. Like,
yeah,
I just found him very.
saying how he likes his drink without even asking for it. I was like, bruh, you know, you're just expecting shit. Like, you shouldn't do that. Bad. Slap on the wrist.
It kind of. It's like
Not
I
even slap on
didn't
the
find him
wrist.
likable, and he was supposed to be.
Castrate him.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I feel like the film's pretty good at making you like characters and dislike other ones. Like,
Yes.
you're meant to dislike the daughter, and then for obvious reason, because she fucking, spoiler, fucking kill someone.
She just fucking sucked. She was just.
I didn't understand at all her character, because why was she spoiled? She wasn't even spoiled. She just wanted shit. Like she wasn't raised.
I sort of understand it now because, well, I'm guessing they were obviously in loads of debt, which the woman shows, Mildred, who shares those papers, like, oh, I'm in so much debt because they're just using money to spend and live the lavish lifestyle they don't have.
Didn't really,
and then the dad leaves because obviously he can't keep up anymore.
It didn't really say that though. I mean, maybe.
I think it did. There's literally a close-up of loads of.
That was like one. Yeah, that was one shot though. I don't think it's enough to give you the whole.
She literally said, "I'm in so much debt, I can't afford to. I need a job."
And the dad, you know, there's also an implied affair. Basically, the dad just sort of really lost faith in the family. Really.
Yeah, he was shit talking his daughters at the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he just went off with another woman. So he's not perfect either, but like, you know.
I just felt like it was a bit. It wasn't really developed
honestly,
much.
If the film was like what you just said, the dad just left, and then there was a single mum now just left with 2 daughters with loads of debt, and then it was just his story of opening a restaurant and girl boss. And I would fucking I'd give him like a 10-star.
Yeah,
that part was fucking cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I just. With the daughter thing, I didn't think it was developed enough. Like I didn't understand her intentions all the time.
I think the whole idea was
the whole point in Noir is it's meant to be like a dumb twist at the end or whatever, and it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think so. I think the whole idea was that she was ashamed of her upbringing. She wanted to be a person of high society and culture. And she was just giving her mum a lot of shit for it, giving Mildred a lot of shit for it.
What we're saying is, even when she did have the wealth from opening fucking 5 really successful restaurants, she still was like unsatisfied.
Yes, because you know she didn't like the way in which it was attained, because she's a snob.
But why was she a snob? She was never raised as like it wasn't like she was raised in like a country house or anything like which is fucking boring.
Well, because she was raised spoilt, and then she
wasn't. She was just living in a standard house, like not standard house, but like you know. Just middle class.
But the dad said that Mildred was spoiling her, and you know, and she never really respected
it's all been fair in the beginning. But also,
it could be.
I see what you mean. Though the film contradicts itself. So like, the dad says, "Oh yeah, you're spending all your money on the girl," and then I guess like they see what the mum spent all the money on, and the girl goes, "Oh, it's a shit dress."
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So it's a shit dress. She bought a cheap dress.
It's just like it's not clear. It's not made clear. It could be developed better.
Well, the whole idea was Mildred's constantly trying to win Vida's love and affection, and you know that mother-daughter relationship. Vida has been raised to just get everything she wants.
But
and then
she gets her shit dress, so I don't really see that.
And then in once she gets everything she wants, soon she's in that climate. She begins to get quite critical of things, you know, and she attains high expectations, and that's why she was critical of that. Probably wasn't even that bad of a dress, you know, and Mildred had good intentions in getting it for her, but you know she had just, you know, she'd become that way. Because she'd been so spoiled.
Yeah, she was definitely spoiled, and maybe the dress was an over-exaggeration because obviously she had the piano and all that shit as well.
Exactly.
I just think it wasn't very clear. It could have been, you know, more grounded.
I think that's just the time as well. They speak differently and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's a degree we just don't understand because we're not from that like era. But you know, just didn't really explain itself.
What was that guy's name who owned the original restaurant? Was it Walter? I think it was Walter. Monty.
Well, the guy that she got married to.
Yeah,
the guy got shot.
Yeah, the guy who got shot. Was it Monty?
Yes, I think it was.
Monty's such a rich name. Yeah, but basically, he was a bit of a slime ball, and he deserved to die. He's been a bit noncy.
Yeah, he was getting with the daughter. So
that's so fucked. But also, that makes you hate the daughter even more.
Monty Barrigan.
Why would the mother?
I
guess it's a good testament of the mother-daughter relationship, how strong it can be. But even then, like your daughter's just trying to sleep with your husband.
The daughter was a bitch, and the other one, was fucked. Like, why? Why did the other one die? It didn't.
Oh
make
yeah,
any
there's another
difference.
door in the film that died as well for no
Who
reason.
the fuck cares? It
Yeah,
wasn't even.
I feel like that's the Hollywood standard, filling up some time, movie at
Yeah.
a time with a bit more drama and shit.
But it didn't fucking do anything to Mildred. It was just like.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like-
a bit odd. So basically, the daughter dies,
Yeah.
and then this is the scene. The daughter dies. The close up of mum crying. Fade out. Happy music literally goes ding ding ding,
Yeah.
and then they open the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like, I need to work more on the restaurant now.
Yeah,
I
and I
tried
was
to put
like,
my focus on that.
what?
Like, what?
What's
What-
happened?
It's just no point. Like, it could have been quite interesting if it kind of made her, do things differently, but it didn't. It didn't affect the plot at all. It wasn't even a conflict. It was just a scene that was sad, but then it wasn't because it got completely contradicted with no consequences. So I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I think it would have worked better if it wasn't a noir. That's my take on it.
I agree. Yeah.
I just don't like the noir elements. I just think like there was much mystery to it at all.
Yeah. I felt like
just me.
aside from because it's a noir and because it's just like a very Hollywood film. Aside from the feminist things, I just thought it didn't really have much of a voice. It was just very standard.
Yeah, like the killer was pretty obvious. It didn't have much impact. The end literally felt so like, oh, wrap it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It wasn't built on. It was just
I
twist. Why?
the film could be given credit in just how unlikable they made Vida. You know, she was just such a villain. Such a villain.
But
and,
that made the twist so much more
obvious, I suppose. Yeah.
not even obvious. It just kind of. I just think it like
It's
it
literally
didn't give any
it's like
impact.
number
because
one suspect, and it actually was. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh, okay.
It's like if she was likable, and then it was like, oh my god, how could you do that?
Yeah, maybe if it was like the door who was dying, who didn't in reality where she didn't die. If it was like her or something because she didn't get enough attention, that would have been so much better.
But it was just like it was.
That would have made perfect sense.
Yeah.
She didn't get enough attention because Vita got all the attention and all the presents, and it's like, oh, you never respected
Like
me.
I
so
did
took the
not.
one
I did
thing
not
you loved.
care that the fucking girl did it because she pissed me off enough anyway.
Yeah.
She could fucking rot in prison. Jeez.
Oh. I wonder if the recording's still going. If it's still going, something really funny just happened, people.
Wait. Yeah, I think it is. Wait, can you check the thing? This thing.
We're still recording.
We are having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Oh, we're still recording, yeah.
It's not coming back. I'll fix this afterwards. But for now, oh my god. Is it still going blur? Yeah, okay.
You're gonna have to do a bit of editing.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
Alright.
Where were we? Do we have concluding thoughts, really? Do we have anything else to say? I would like to mention that the character of Ida was pretty freaking fantastic. Love her.
I thought she was funny.
Great character, hilarious. You know, like some lines being like, alligators have the right idea, eating their young, absolute savage. Or I think she alluded to Monty. You know, something was going to hit him like a ton of bricks, and it's like, what's that? And like she's like, oh, you know, and she was just like, doesn't take shit from anyone, you know, and she was just a savage and great character. Loved her.
My favourite character, just because it really caught me off guard, was the maid. Like really sweet. It was like,
no, that's a terrible, you know,
It's awful.
caricature and comic relief.
Yeah, like, thank you,
Okay.
Mrs. Oh, I forgot the pie.
yeah, I
Oopsies.
suppose.
And everyone else is super like, hey, yeah, I'm opening a business. Hey, darling, I'll help you buy that business. Oops, I forgot the pie. Uh-oh.
I just
It's a bit like...
You sound like fucking Gilbert Godfrey.
Obviously that bit's terrible.
Oh my
But
god, dude, don't
when I was watching it, I just did not expect that fucking voice, and it just like I just was like, wait, what? Who was that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we need to give ratings though.
Oh, yeah, 8.
7.
6.
Wow, look at that. Look how diverse we are. Second one, the double feature, double indemnity. Ooh.
Hold up. Oh yeah, no. 1944's I think. Double Indemnity. It was a film about.
Double indemnity.
Yeah, it was kind of just like this plot to get some insurance, and yeah, I liked it.
Basically, this guy's a simp, right, for this girl.
Yeah, I suppose.
And the girl's in an abusive relationship with her husband. Oh, not abusive. Well, yeah, abusive. A toxic.
Just a loveless one.
A toxic,
Yeah, it's
loveless relationship. And she's like, yo, life insurance man, he ain't giving me no loving. And then the tax insurance man's like, yo, I'll get her some money and loving. And they go, yo, let's kill him. And And they go, okay, so they plan a murder to kill the husband to get loads of life insurance back, because the life insurance guy says he'll gets more money for death. And then they go through with it, and then the movie's basically about like, oh, what's gonna happen now? Ooh, they killed him. Ooh.
And it's great. I think the stakes are really good. It's actually like intense and it's generally a gripping film.
Yeah, it's a better noir than Mildred is. There's a lot more tension with it, and the twists and turns, and like there's a lot more like tensity to the story, I think.
Yeah, like
because you sort of care for the characters a bit more. Like I even cared for the side characters, like the daughter and the random.
Yeah, there wasn't really anyone to dislike.
I just like even the like development was a bit more refined.
And there's so many iconic scenes. Like there's so many things where like, oh, do you remember the bit where they were like, he jumped off the train, or do you remember the bit when the guy came to the flat when she was there as well and stuff like that.
Also, it's just super engaging throughout. Like the opening scene of him just walking like ominously to the telephone. It's just really good.
Very. Yeah, and it went through quite quickly.
Seamlessly, that's what I mean. Like it all flows very well, and it all makes sense. There's no like hurdles really stopping you.
It gave me the same kind of feelings that like Shallow Grave gave me. I think I haven't seen that. It was just like a nice kind of simple story and intense.
Have I seen Shallow Grave?
Danny Boyle,
Ewan McGregor, Christopher Eccleston, and someone else. I forget.
I haven't.
Some girl, I can't remember her name.
Some girl.
I haven't seen Shallow Grave, but
wow.
Yeah. Really liked that one in Indemnity.
Didn't think it was quite as feminist as Mildred
Yeah, that's what I
Pierce.
thought as well. The women aspect, I guess.
Not much, yeah.
It's more for just like, oh, the wife is super intelligent, and like, and there's sort of scene where he's like repeating what to do, and he's like, oh, make sure that. And she's like, yeah, I know, I can fucking do it. I know to kill someone.
The trope or the sort of the genre convention is called femme fatale. So she was a femme fatale. She was a dangerous
woman.
Oh yeah, wasn't there? I didn't finish the reading. I started the reading, and I think it was called like a dark spider or something. I don't know, something like that. There was like a
but she's super clever, super like switched on.
She's not just a wife, so I guess that's the feminist side of it. But
maybe didn't deserve to die, but you know,
her death scene was great.
Yeah.
Like as in, I liked it. It was a good like ending. For her.
Shot out, didn't she? So
my god! Yeah, I forgot that happened. Oh my god! I literally forgot that happened.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was great. I feel
it's interesting.
I remember I was watching it, and like when she hit the gun into the pillow, I thought it was a knife. And she's like, oh, she's gonna shank him, and then like he pulls out a gun, and I'm like, and it, like fully shoots him, and just stands there and takes some bullets. And I'm like, how is he not dead?
I guess,
he just takes the gun and just like shoots her point blank range.
It was great. I really liked it. I thought that whole scene was
like that had so much more weight to it than.
It was interesting they didn't win in the end.
Film.
They just didn't win. No one won really, did they?
No, it's just one of those. I really
guess
like
the daughter won in some regard. Well, she even lost her dad.
I really like stories where just it was all.
Her dad didn't care for her, which was made
the
before.
Chaos of life.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It starts and ends the same way.
Yeah, and it's going to be like. I feel like it's sort of foreshadowing that the same thing's going to happen to the daughter as well, with her husband or her boyfriend being a bit of a shitty person.
Yeah, for Hollywood, for a classic Hollywood film, it was actually quite open-ended, which I liked as well. Like you don't even. I mean, you could probably assume that the guy didn't die, but
it felt a lot more final. Mildred felt like a rough draft, if I'm being honest. Now looking back.
It was. I just felt Mildred was a lot of waffle on just lots of.
Oh no, I believe Mildred was based on a novel, and there was bits cut out.
Yeah, it just
that makes normal sense.
It felt like just so.
That makes normal sense. It was based on a novel where they had to include like the death scene or something because maybe it had more weight in the novel.
Maybe it just kind of felt. Mildred just felt a bit rushed in a way. Like it could have been like a show or something. Obviously, you didn't really have shows then, but I mean.
Also,
like that.
They actually made a show of it recently. I believe it has.
That sounds a lot better. I think.
Someone quite notable in the role of Mildred Pierce after. Oh, it was like Titanic lady. What's her name?
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
I think it would suit that episodic sort of structure more. So I can see that.
Another good thing about the film was it's got a train in it. Train scene. Love a train scene, and also it was a very nicely decorated train as well.
Yeah, my favourite character was
the train.
It wasn't the train.
My favourite character was the train.
I just gendered the train. Isn't that weird? Yeah, my favourite character was like the tax insurance guy who is like.
Oh yeah, Bert Keynes or something. You know?
Yeah, the one who cracks it, and it's like.
Yeah.
And that one scene, the one scene with like the guy goes. No, the one scene with like the boss of the insurance company.
Edward Norton.
His name was Edward Norton, which I
That
thought was a
is
funny detail.
Oh, another thing about names. There's an actress in the first film, Mildred, called Vida. So the actress is called Vida, and the character is called Vida. But they're not playing. They're playing like two different ones. So imagine on set like Vida.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like when like the boss is like saying it was a suicide, and he's like, "It ain't a fucking suicide because I've done suicide. There's no way you would die from a 50-mile-an-hour train jumping out the back."
Yeah, there's lots of great kind of like, oh, what?
Like, next time I'll hire a tax. I really like that scene.
I like all the scenes where they're kind of trying to like deduce what happened and talking to the guy, and he's just. I love the bit when the witness comes in and he like recognizes him, and he's like,
"Are you
"Oh
fishing,
no!"
Callie?"
Yeah. Just so many great intense moments like that.
Yeah.
And like
There's a lot more tense, a lot more
Pierce,
story. I preferred it a lot more.
It wasn't grabbing. Mildred Pierce wasn't really grabbing me, like that was. So.
I was engaging Mildred Pierce for different reasons. I think just not on the noir aspects. Noir. This is a great noir film. Doesn't do the feminist thing.
Lots of the blinds thing in this one.
The what?
The blinds lighting.
Typical of noir.
Yeah, I didn't even know that until you said that. Like now I think of other noirs, I kind of see it a lot.
Yeah, there's even sort of noir characteristics in Casablanca as well. So yeah,
Still haven't seen it actually.
just a lot of shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Casablanca's on the year list, even though I've seen it.
Nice.
I think we decided to it. So yeah, look forward to that.
Next time we post one of these where we do the next year's. Should we do our ratings first?
Ratings, yes.
Yeah.
God, we're so disorganised. It's
8 for me.
8 or 9.
I think it was an 8. Yeah.
Oh, we're all in agreement then.
I really want
Nice.
And I think that will conclude this week. So everyone say bye.
Goodbye. Thank you
Bye,
for listening.
everyone. Thanks for watching and listening and saying hello. We're being better.
See ya.